Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Heather Myers. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you and getting to the bottom of problems you've asked about, and we're looking for solutions. We begin with San Diego's competitive and expensive rental market. Rent is finally starting to drop in some parts of our county, but other areas are actually still seeing some big increases. CBS 8's Steve Price is working for you and talked to an economist about the rental trends across the county and also got some negotiating tips for renters.
A post on social media from a frustrated tenant is getting a lot of attention. He says just 3 months ago he signed a lease at this complex for $22.50 a month, but today that same apartment is renting for $200 a month less. So is that an anomaly, or are rent prices across our county finally coming down?
It's rough.
Jordan Bryant is moving out of this Vista apartment complex after 3 years of rent increases. He's been priced out.
This is probably economical. When we first moved in here, it was like around $1,800. Now they want like $2,700.
Jordan says he hasn't found any great deals apartment hunting, so for now he's moving in with family. But according to a new rental market report from Zillow, his luck might be about to change.
Across the country now, we have more apartments being completed than we've had since 1973. And so with more listings on the market, renters now have more options.
Orfe Devungai is a senior economist with Zillow, and he says 34% of rental listings include landlords offering concessions.
Renters that don't move, that stay put, tend to get an even sweeter deal than people who move, right? That's the first thing. But ultimately, concessions are, sweeteners like a free week's rent, free parking.
He says some renters are also getting landlords to waive application fees. According to Zillow, San Marcos saw the biggest drop in rent over the last month, a one-bedroom down $137. National City was down $111, and Vista dropped $52. The city of San Diego came in unchanged at $2,400 for a one-bedroom. The biggest jumps took place in La Mesa, up $57 a month, Santee up $82, and Encinitas, which shot up $150 a month for a one-bedroom unit.
It's got everything to do with supply and demand forces, right? So we're seeing rent growth cooling the fastest in markets that have allowed builders to continue to build housing.
Nationwide, Zillow sees rent increases slowing, but overall their numbers still find too many people are forced to spend more than they can comfortably afford on rent. In Vista, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Well, Vista is the latest city in our county to enforce an encampment ban. The city council passed a resolution this week to return to enforcing the ban, which has been on the books since the 1960s, but enforcement was paused during the pandemic. Mayor John Franklin says there are 170 people living on the streets of Vista and adds that the vast majority refuse services. So therefore, enforcement, he says, is needed. Homeless advocates say encampment bans won't solve the problem. One person who's been unhoused on and off for years tells us that the housing help that's offered is too restrictive.
By 8 o'clock, I can't have friends or anything like that come by and visit me or anything like that. No, that's too much like being locked up in jail.
Well, according to Mayor Franklin, deputies are already out there clearing out the encampments.
Code doesn't do anything about it. What can we do to kind of better protect ourselves?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Tonight, frustration from officials at the International Boundary and Water Commission over a missed deadline and the ongoing effort to end the sewage crisis along our border. The bi-national agency was supposed to bring a broken wastewater treatment system into compliance with federal water quality standards by today. CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes talked with the leaders at the IBWC about the problem and the mayor of Imperial Beach about what she says could fix it.
The reality is we just can't meet that. We have technical problems here, unforeseens. We have sediment coming into the plant that gets into our equipment and has put us behind schedule. We're going as fast as we can.
Morgan Rogers is the area operations manager for the International Boundary and Water Commission. They're responsible for the South Bay plant that's supposed to make sure water in and around our border communities is clean and safe. Right now, it's not.
There are basically two problems. One is the plant, getting the plant into compliance. And the other problem are the flows coming from Mexico. So in the summer right now, we shouldn't have any flows in the river. This is the dry season, and yet we have 45 million gallons per day of flow coming down the river. which empties out on our beaches.
Rogers says the flow from Mexico must be stopped by Mexican authorities, and right now, only one of the tanks needed to help is working. A second tank should be online today, hopefully.
We have 5 tanks, 3 are required at all times to be in operation. So we're really looking at, when we get 3 online, we should be on the way to the water quality to meet the permit compliance.
This is my first time being on the campus of the water treatment facility, and that smell that neighbors have been complaining about for years, it's really strong right now.
That is the source of the odors that everyone is experiencing in this Imperial Beach, Chula Vista, and beyond.
Rogers is talking about this flow in the Tijuana River Valley. CBS 8 talked to the Coastal Environmental Rights Foundation and the San Diego Coastkeepers back in April when they filed a lawsuit against the federal government to get this cleaned up. Rogers says it's the federal government's responsibility to make sure this plant has enough money to operate. But first, there's so much that needs to be fixed.
Plant in the IBWC has been neglected as far as funding for years. So between 2010 and 2020, we only spent $4 million on capital projects at this plant. We should be spending that probably every year.
Paloma Aguirre, mayor of the city of Imperial Beach, says it's time to enforce compliance through fines and other means.
My hope is that the federal government reads this as a very clear sign that this is not just, the status quo of some bodies of water getting polluted. This is a life-threatening situation that our communities have been harmed by for a long time.
Kirsten Holmes, CBS 8.
CBS 8 is working for you after neighbors in Rancho Penasquitos alerted us to water flowing off Black Mountain. The source of the flooding is still a bit of a mystery right now. But as CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports, the water is being pumped out of backyards and into the street.
This waterfall is in the backyard of Ron White's home on Westcott Court in Rancho Penasquitos, just below Black Mountain. It's been flowing for more than a year.
We thought the big rains happened, and by this time last year, August, we thought we'd go away, and it did not.
To keep his house from flooding, Ron resorted to digging trenches across his backyard and pumping the water out to the street. It flows along the curb, into a storm drain, and also collects in a nearby canyon. And Ron is not alone.
You can hear the neighbor. They're doing more trenching over there.
The 2 neighbors on either side of Ron don't want to speak on camera, but their backyards are flooding too. They dug holes and installed pumps.
I've got right now 7 pumps running.
After the neighbors complained, the city did an investigation and claimed the water was coming from a natural source. The excess water is not due to a leak or failing city infrastructure. The city doesn't plan to take any further action, the city said via email. The city investigation did mention a water main break in January along Meadow Run Street. Neighbors tell me that huge water main pumps water uphill to the Black Mountain water tank and a nearby cement water reservoir owned by the city of San Diego.
We've got to come up with some answers for the residents.
Kate Glenn is the president of the Rancho Penasquitos Town Council. She says the source of the water remains a mystery.
So my message to the city of San Diego, let's not play ping pong anymore. Let's come to the table, work this out, and create a solution for the residents in Rancho Penasquitos.
So as it stands now, the county of San Diego may do some additional water leak testing, but the city of San Diego says it's not their problem. In Rancho Penasquitos, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Right, David, thank you. Lincoln High School's football program is storied, with some alumni going on to be NFL stars, but their home field has been in disrepair for years. Head coach David Dunn tells us there's serious water damage beneath the field that was discovered a few years ago, and it still needs to be fixed, either by the district or by the city of San Diego.
Who's going to pay for it? Well, my deal is it's about the kids. How about we get it fixed first, and then we can figure out who needs to pay for it. But the problem shouldn't still be the same while we're arguing over who's going to fix what, because I don't believe this would happen in North County.
In the meantime, the Lincoln Hornets will play their home games 20 minutes away in Chula Vista's Southwestern Community College. Coach Dunn says the team is grateful for the workarounds, but the athletes need better support. Tonight, people who live near the Otay landfill in Chula Vista are asking for help. They say the rapidly growing landfill is posing risks to the environment and to public health. CBS 8's Jasmine Ramirez is working for you and visited the nearby neighborhoods where people are calling attention to the issue.
People living close by say the smell of trash from the Otay landfill has only gotten worse in recent months. They say they're in desperate need of help. Tonight, we visited Otay Ranch in Chula Vista. Residents say the landfill has reached an alarming height and are now watching a new mound growing beyond the grassy hill.
It's like, how high is this thing going to go? And we've noticed that that coincides with the crisis of air pollution that we have right now here in Chula Vista because of the TJ River and also this.
William and his family have lived in the neighborhood 6 years. He says residents in Eastlake, Rancho Del Rey, and Bonita have also noticed the smell worsen over the past few months.
It's trash like sulfur, sewer. So if you ever smelled the sewer, something's broken there, it smells exactly like that.
Beyond the smell, he worries about contamination through the soil and has researched what impacts the landfill might be having.
This one is on clay. And from the research that I've done, the clay is quite thin. So I know our water is getting affected. And as time goes by, I'm doing more and more research.
He reached out to the California EPA. He and neighbors also started a petition calling on local leaders to step in.
I reached out to Senator Steve Padilla, and there was no answer there at all. I reached out to our district supervisor, which is Vargas, and I got a very general response from her staff.
I also contacted Supervisor Vargas's office. I received a statement saying the chairwoman is deeply committed to addressing air pollution and is taking proactive steps. This includes installing air monitors in South County and advocating for federal and state support to help with the Tijuana sewage crisis. Meanwhile, William is hopeful their concerns over the Otay landfill will be addressed.
But really, this is a problem that is going to be here for the next decade, 2 or 3 decades, just because, you know, the trash has nowhere else to go.
Jasmine Ramirez, CBS 8.
Jasmine, thank you. Well, still to come, questions about an abandoned car wash in City Heights, trash, graffiti, homeless encampments. We are working for you, and we'll tell you what will soon move in and clean up this property. And later on, the San Diego City crews complete work on a busy road, but drivers say a problem still persists. We'll show you why it's still a bumpy ride. And don't forget, we want to look into the issues affecting you and your community. Email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. We'll be right back. Tonight, this abandoned car wash on University Avenue has become a magnet for crime and graffiti. Nearby business owners say they are paying the price. CBS 8's Brian White is working for you in City Heights and shows us what's being done to address the problem.
Piles of trash and dilapidated equipment, that's what's left of the old car wash here.
Honestly, it looks like a dump. It looks really dirty. It smells like urine.
It's been fenced in and there's graffiti everywhere.
It's been turned into a homeless encampment for the most part. You know, they're trespassing on there and nobody really does anything about it.
Local business owners tell me transients have made living quarters inside these buildings.
They usually come out, they sleep in there, they come out like between 4 to 6, bro.
I saw 2 guys leaving through this hole in the fence. A tattoo shop owner nearby who didn't want to go on camera voiced his frustrations.
It's not good. They're trying to clean this place up and then they're going backwards.
The property's been vacant for about 6 months, and according to the owner of a nearby dog grooming business, it's been bad for the neighborhood.
You get a lot more people walking by, yelling, and it just gives us a better picture for our business. And we just have a bunch of people sometimes, that are doing something shitty. There's people consuming drugs around the corner.
Complaints about all this have been filed with the city of San Diego, so I checked in with code enforcement. They told me it'll likely be inspected within the next 5 days. And records obtained by CBS 8 show the property's owner entered into a lease agreement with Soapy Joe's back in February. So I reached out to them about their plans here. The chief operating officer, Isaac Lee, said, quote, "We are excited to bring value to the community through jobs and engagement at this new location. We're in the final stages of permitting and anticipate breaking ground by the end of this year," end quote. Soapy Joe's operates 24 locations across the county with several more on the way. Meanwhile, business owners here near the 805 hope the new business moving in will help transform the area.
I really hope they keep it clean. I've been to all their locations and they've always had a good place. It's always been clean. So I really hope they bring that over here too.
Working for you in City Heights, Brian White, CBS 8.
Brian, thank you. Next, construction on a busy road in Claremont is over, but people still have questions. We'll show you why drivers are still experiencing a wild ride. We have an update now on a story that we have been following for years. A judge has once again overturned approval for a controversial 3,000 home development proposed in Santee. The Santee City Council first green-lighted the Fanita Ranch project back in 2020, but then a judge blocked it after an environmental group sued, saying there were no clear wildfire evacuation plans. Then the council approved the project again in 2022, calling it an essential housing project that cannot be challenged by a voter referendum. But then in a more recent ruling, a judge found that that approval violated state election laws. We'll keep you posted. Construction is once again making its way through Claremont, specifically on Claremont Drive. But have you noticed just how bumpy and even uneven the road is after the work is done? CBS 8's Alex Lai is working for you and reached out to the city to get answers.
So are they finished, and is this what we're going to have to live with, these bumpy roads?
Georgiana Becker avoids driving down Claremont Drive near the Bergener Boulevard intersection because of the uneven road.
It's awful. I hardly go there anymore. I'm not doing those shops and stores as frequently because it's such a crazy drive.
And Becker isn't the only one who feels this way. The city posted on Facebook 2 days ago once the work was complete. Some residents commented on the post, one saying, "Now it's time to replace the street. It's undrivable." Another said this happened months ago and the road is horrible. The new paved sections over the construction are like driving on a roller coaster. This needs to get fixed.
Just Bahaing. Off-roading, bobblehead time.
Becker even called the drive Bobblehead Road, so we took a bobblehead for a ride to see just how bumpy it is. So why is the street so bumpy? Crews installed pipelines under the street as part of the Pure Water San Diego project. The project aims to provide half of the city's water locally by 2035 by running wastewater through the pipes to facilities.
On Claremont Drive, it doesn't look like they're coming back. It looks like they're finished and they're done and that's it.
So the work is done near that intersection, but will the road be repaved? Working for you, we reached out to the city. They told us, quote, "The pavement currently in place is temporary. As part of this project, the road will be repaved curb to curb and restriped. The project is scheduled to be completed in 2025.
That was our Alex Lai reporting. The city says there is no specific start date for when the repaving will begin, but they do say the community will be notified when it's scheduled. That's going to do it for us. Remember, if there is something that you would like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.